Hi there. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent Training. Welcome to our Word of the Day series. We're having a bonus live class this morning, and I just wanted to cover a few words that have come up recently, get a little bit caught up. I have such a long list of wonderful suggestions from all of you, and I hate to keep you waiting too long, so we're going to cover more than one word today. And then we'll have our regular Word of the Day class. That's always at 9 a.m. Seattle time, 12 o'clock Eastern time. That'll follow this live class right away. Hi, Sally. Nice to see you. Welcome, everyone. So first, I want to look at some of these requests that came in recently. We have for the first word is the word duel. And the spelling is a little bit tricky as well as the vowel sounds. So when I'm looking at the word duel, I have first syllable stress. And my letter U says the oo vowel. So that's just like in the word do, or thinking of it as having this long oo that we often spell with two O's. And then we have a dark L. So it sounds like ul. The back of my tongue stays down and the front lifts, ul. You can see my video for American L that talks about L at the start of words, the light L at the ends of words, the dark L, to help you with this. You can also check out our Sounds of English course on speechmodification.com for more help with that L and all of the sounds of English. But before the dark L, we have what's kind of like a schwa, an sound. And so because I'm moving from that rounded oo into the non-rounded schwa, the we end up with a bit of a glide. So in the IPA, you're not going to see this w glide written in the symbols for the pronunciation in the dictionary, but you will notice that if you move from oo to ooh, you end up with a little bit of a glide sound. Because the W glide is really moving from two positions. It's moving from the oo position to the schwa position. So a W itself sounds like ooh, if I say it very quickly, moving from oo to So in this vowel to vowel linking, you're going to have a little bit of a W sound. You're not going to have to intentionally put that in there with a strong W like duel, but if you're struggling with the word, you might find thinking that W and noticing that that occurs in your lips is going to be helpful. Duel. Our second request was for the word install, and I'm highlighting that stall is a stressed syllable here. So for some people, it is really just the same sounds as the word in and then the word stall. Again, we have a dark L there that might be challenging for you. So thinking of building it from the back, like the word all, and then adding your T, all, tall, stall. Again, getting more help for that dark L is really going to help you with this word install. And then if it's the rhythm of the word that gives you trouble, start with the stressed syllable, stall, and then add your unstressed syllable as a light little touch, rather than starting from the beginning where you're going to go to any of your accent patterns and habits. Break it up, start it a new way, stall, install, so that my in is just a light stepping stone to my main stressed syllable, stall. That also gives you more time for getting the vowel sound and the dark L, practicing that extra, and then just adding the in briefly. Next, I want to look at the word context. This word has first syllable stress. So just like install, where we wanted to focus on stall, in context, what you need to focus on, or what's helpful to focus on, is that letter O says vowel ah. So we'll see the stress symbol. We'll see an A for the ah. I like to write it as AH sometimes, helps people think about the ah, the open, unrounded back vowel. And my con syllable has that clear vowel and that length. And then my text syllable is short and unstressed. So it does have the same pronunciation as the word text. And you can't go too quickly on it because, of course, you have to get all of those sounds. The letter X says the k and s sounds. And then we add the T, context. Oh, don't forget your N. So context, is an example of CON words often will have the ah sound if they're stressed in the first syllable. Sometimes if they're unstressed, like concerned, then of course they'll have the schwa sound. It sounds more like an in this word, first syllable stress. Similarly, speaking of schwa and unstressed syllables, in arrangement, we have an unstressed syllable. So letter A says the schwa sound, sounds like and then our stress is on the range syllable. It's just like the word range. If that word gives you trouble, think about that building from the A, the long stressed A diphthong. It looks like this in the IPA. And then we have the end of range has the J sound. We spell that with letter J at the start of words, sometimes with G, and usually GE at the ends of words. The symbol looks like this. And then we were just talking about our words with MENT ending that we almost have no vowel there. So I'm really short and light on that unstressed ment ending. I go right from the M to the N. Arrangement, arrangement. It might have a little bit of an I sound or a schwa sound. I'm going to write it here with just MNT, arrangement. Okay, so for all of these words, you do want to try to practice them in some short phrases so that you feel natural and smooth when you're speaking. So let's just try a couple. There was a dual range stove. We had to install a new stove. The context makes all the difference in what something means. And we had an arrangement to pick up the flower arrangement. Okay, thank you for those requests. I see a few of you are here live, so I have a few minutes to take your requests live as well because our next class begins in 10 minutes. So after this, if you're watching either the replay or watching live, you can check out our regular Wednesday Word of the Day class. This week we'll be talking about some somewhat exotic fruit names. Again, these were requested by viewers, but also helpful for many people, I'm sure. So the question Sally had was, is dual the correct spelling? No, so the spelling of dual is just D-U-A-L, like I had written above. Dual was just a way of thinking about how to pronounce it. So yes, any questions, feel free to ask those. If not, I'll cover a couple additional words that are on my list, simply because today is an opportunity for me to get caught up on many of the questions and requests that have come in. We had a request for the word confused. So let's look at that. That fits in nicely with what we were talking about with context and arrangement, that in confused, we have second syllable stress. And so here, instead of con, like in context, our con syllable is unstressed and we have vowel schwa. So it's going to sound more like kun. And the IPA is going to look like this with an upside down E for our schwa sound. Then we'll have our stress syllable fused. This letter U says the oo sound, but in this case, fused, we also have a glide, which means we're going to have, like the word you, rather than confu, it's going to be confused. That's how also we pronounce the word few, for example. So thinking about that, this fu letters is the same as the word few, and we have that y glide. And then confused, this letter S says the Z sound, and the letter E makes no sound. We go right from the Z to a D, confused. I'm mixing up where I'm putting what. So my IPA is a Z and a D, although I guess my pronunciation is also going right from Z to D. If that transition gives you trouble, zd, confused, you might find that it's helpful to practice other words that have similar patterns, that have the Z and the D together. Also, you just have to go from that continuing Z sound, lift your tongue to stop the air, confused. Great. Okay, so Let's just check. We have time for one or two more words. So the next word we're going to cover will be, how about the word, sorry, I'm looking ahead. Okay, we had a question about the word moisturizer. So let's write that one out. Long word. We have moisturizer. Okay, so of course we have the root word moisture in this word. We have first syllable stress, so the moist syllable is long. The letters OI often say the oi diphthong, so we often spell that with OY like in boy or OI like in moisturizer. First syllable stress means we'll see that little line before the M, and the oi diphthong, you'll see it written like that in the dictionary with an ah and an I. We're just gliding from a rounded back vowel to a high front vowel. I often think about it as sounding more like an O and an E, oi, oi, but ah is how it is shown in the dictionary. Basically, for most people, when you're trying to put it in between consonants, like in moisturizer, it might be harder. So thinking about just saying it in a word like boy or toy, where you have time to glide and have length on that vowel, might be helpful in words like this. So you can even think about as though you could just say moi, the first part, before you try to add in your S and your T sound. So moi, moist, moisturizer, moisture. We're going to have this T is actually more of a CH, so moisture. So rather than writing it as a T here, you'll see that the CH sound has, in the symbols, has a T for it. That's because my tongue goes to the T position and then it moves into this SH position. So CH is really a combination of T and SH. SH, the sh sound, my tongue is back and the air continues. The ch sound, I lift my tongue to the T, drop it to the SH, but the sound doesn't continue. Ch, ch. You can get help for the CH and SH sounds in my video for that, as well as in our Sounds of English course and our course for Spanish speakers. That's a pattern that's challenging for people with many different native languages, but Spanish speakers in particular sometimes have challenges with moving between sh and ch, those two sounds. Okay, so in this word, moisture, then our UR says the ER sound, unstressed, moisture. Just like paper or better, we have a light touch, but still a tense sound. I'll write it with ER here, moisture. Now we have the I syllable. Because we have I-Z-E, the letter E is going to make the I say its name. So if we had just moisturize, it would be the same thing. We go from the R sound into an I diphthong. So thinking about that as I, or the same as the E-Y-E-I, moisturize, and then we have another unstressed at the end, moisturizer. So the Z does say Z. And what you want to think about is lengthening here, moisturizer, that those other last three syllables are short. You might find it helpful to just build from the back with these R's like zer, riser. That's something that we hear also in something like exerciser, or, there are a few other words that have that iser syllable, just the word riser as well. Because the riser part has to go quickly and you have to glide in and out of that R and that Z sound. Then you can add in your stress syllable, moist, moisturizer, moisturizer. Okay, thank you for that request and the earlier requests for the other words that we covered. I'll continue working my way through all of your word of the day requests, so feel free to leave those in the comments for this video or any of my videos. And I'll be back again Friday. We'll have another live class, our usual Friday question and answer class. So you can attend that class and ask your questions. I'm out of time now, so I won't be able to take your live questions today, but I will go through afterwards and look at the comments If I have a video or a resource for you, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll add your word to my list to cover in a future Word of the Day class. Stay tuned for the next class in 2 minutes. We'll be talking about fruit names as well as lots of other interesting and useful information, I hope, about sounds, syllables, and patterns. So if you stick with this live class, it'll just redirect you to our next Word of the Day class beginning at 9. Thanks for being here today, everyone. I hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again in our Word of the Day today, tomorrow, and our Friday live class. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.